Is it possible to make $2,000 in 1 week using DoorDash, Instacart, Uber Eats, and Grubhub? Come with me, let's find out. The sun isn't even up yet, but we are. We're gonna go shop this $29 Publix order that we got. It is just about 7:15 in the morning. It took us just over 1 hour and 15 minutes to get that all done. A little bit slow, but that's okay. It's still a nice chunk to get our day started. And then we grabbed this double order. It is from IHOP and Dunkin', $13, going just a few miles. And so we're gonna try to get these dropped off really quick and then reposition ourselves, see if we can get to the Costco drop. We got those 2 orders dropped off, and Uber sent us this Fresh Market order, $13 for just 5 items. And this is awesome because it's gonna bring us closer to Costco. No need to wait for the Costco drop because we just got this $40 order from Fresh Market. Now it is kind of high mileage, but it still meets our goals that we look for. If you haven't seen that video where I laid out my secret strategy, it matches that. It is over $1 per item. It is over $2 a mile, and it is over $15. So let's go get it. 2 orders shopped. From our Uber Eats Fresh Market order, we had a hidden tip. We got an extra $1. Now, I know that doesn't sound like much, but as we learned in the $600 single day challenge video, sometimes it can come down to every last dollar. So I'm not gonna complain. I am on my way to deliver the second of the 2 Fresh Market orders that we had from Instacart. We are due to arrive right around 11:15, which will put us at 4 hours in for the day, and it should put us roughly at $100 for the day. As soon as we dropped off that second Fresh Market order and the batches reloaded, we nabbed this $29 for 6 item Costco order. Now we have to add an extra 6 miles or so onto that order. I'm actually surprised that that order made it as far away from Costco as it did. Super fast shop. Now let's head to checkout. We grabbed this $13 double from DoorDash for Bob Evans and Panera. After delivering those 2 DoorDash orders, I took this quick little $5 for 2 mile from Iman's Thai Cafe. The repositioning did work, and then we got a $10 for 5 mile offer here on Uber Eats. We then grabbed this $23 for 12 mile Instacart order. We then found out that we had a hidden tip. Our Primo Hoagies order was not $10. It was actually $16. We just finished dropping off those Costco orders, and we got our first cash tip of the challenge. $4 extra to go on top of everything else. I'm kind of close to where we're staying right now, so I think I am going to go ahead and head towards home. We are back on the road for supper time. We grabbed this Grubhub for $10 going 3 miles. It took a awfully long time, about 10 minutes of sitting and waiting. We were sitting in the parking lot of Cheesecake Factory, and we got hit with this Uncle Julio's. It's actually in the same parking lot, so not that far of a drive for the pickup. It is $11 for 5 miles. We are on our way to get it dropped off. Supper has been kind of a slow start. I've learned when things are kind of slow, you can't be quite as picky. The slow night continues, so we grabbed this $11 for 9 mile Cheesecake Factory. And of course we had to wait for it because that seems to be the theme of the day. Just not huge orders with long wait times. I had a good conversation with this customer while waiting at Cheesecake Factory, and in fact she is also a Dasher, so she was more than understanding of everything that was going on. One interesting thing that I found out is I tried sending my memes that I often use for when customers are waiting and when I'm on the way, if there's kind of good rapport and there was a little bit of a dialogue or a conversation. And I sent both of them and they showed up as delivered, and then a minute or 2 later they both disappeared from the conversation. So is DoorDash deleting memes now when we send them through? While waiting for our next order, we just found out we had a hidden tip of 8 cents. I guess we'll take it. After sitting for a while, we finally got an order from Van Cuban Cafe, which is in this series of buildings behind me. And I've seen nothing from DoorDash for almost an hour now. Something's happened where they're just not sending me orders. So I did shut it off. For now, I'm gonna go deliver this and turn it back on and see if we can do a fresh start. I've also rebooted my phone. We have talked about hidden tips before, but how about a hidden app update? I went to the app store. It showed that all my apps were updated. All of them were good to go. So I decided to just check and click on the Dasher app to see when exactly I had last updated it, which said 4 days ago. But then it said click here for update, or the little update button or whatever, which is amazing. So it didn't even show up as a necessary update. So I'm in process of updating the app. We will turn it back on, see if that will bring it back to life. I started noticing app issues over the weekend, specifically on pizza orders. It was not making me take a picture of a pizza bag anymore. Catering orders were not being labeled as catering orders or requiring me to take a picture of my catering bag. So I know they are working on rolling out tiers in different areas, and maybe that's kind of messed with the app. My understanding is we are not getting tiers yet here. As we were dropping that order off, we got an order from Sushi Thai 2, also about $10. After dropping off that sushi order, I finally got DoorDash on and was sent this offer, which looks okay, right? It looks decent, $8 for 5 miles. But then take a closer look at it. Look at where I actually am versus where the app thinks I am. So you have to add probably another 3 or 4 miles to this order of what I actually have to drive. But I took it because I'm trying to recalibrate the app, let it know where I actually am. I'm not saying this will solve every single problem, but I would always highly encourage you to do all of your troubleshooting checks that you possibly can if you're running into app issues. If something doesn't seem right, there's a fairly good chance that something's not right. Just keeping the other apps on as I'm waiting for this delivery, and I saw this Instacart. It's super far away from me, but it just goes to prove the lesson that only you can increase base pay, right? Smokey the Bear said only you can prevent forest fires. Well, only you can increase base pay. If you just keep rejecting these bad offers and teaching the other delivery drivers around you, even if it's one at a time, reject these bad offers, they will pay up. They'll pay up, and they're gonna add to it and add to it and add to it. I can almost guarantee you that you will get paid more than the total cost of those products if you took this offer. Good news, everything was required, including taking a picture of a pizza bag. I never thought I would be so excited to take a picture of a pizza bag. And then after that order, I saw a lowball order on DoorDash. I did not take it, but again, I was very excited to see that DoorDash is working the way I expect it to work. One of the things that we teach here is that you want to always be planning ahead. Do things today that your tomorrow self will thank you for. So I am gassing up right now. I'm using the Upside app. I actually have an affiliate link down the bottom if you want to support me and also get started with saving some money, getting some cash back when you fill up on gas. Tonight was a little bit disappointing. This is day 1 in the books. Tuesday morning, day 2 of our $2,000 in 1 week challenge. I got out quite a bit later today than I did yesterday. Yesterday was a long day, and just gonna try a different strategy today. My goal was actually to make it to the Costco drop, but I didn't. I wasn't able to get there in time. But I still ended up sitting around the Costco parking lot for a little bit and didn't really see much. And then finally this DoorDash order came up. We're gonna go deliver this. It's high mileage, but at least I know the drop-off point is near some restaurant. This $7 order for Subway on DoorDash. That was a quick pickup and delivery, and followed up by this NASCAR Tenders and Burgers, which is a ghost kitchen inside of IHOP. After waiting about 15 minutes, there was no sign of the order being ready, so I ended up canceling for excessive wait time. They said that they are going to do a $5 compensation. I'll post that if it actually posts. I don't always trust. And we did pick up a second order while we were waiting, an add-on for $6. So that's on our way, and we're gonna grab that from this taco place here. And then we also picked up this order. It's like $22 for 12 miles from Edible Arrangements. One of my least favorite things to deliver in all of the delivery world is balloons. And wouldn't you know it, I've got a giant bag of balloons. So we have our cooler and our lunch in here. But we put the chocolate covered fruit in here so stuff wouldn't melt. And the bear I also put in there. This is actually just a Publix bag that I used because they had no bag or no packaging for anything, and I just didn't want things to get dirty. Dropped off that edible order, and they gave us a bonus tip after drop off, which always makes things that much more awesome. It's just after 1:30. We've done about 3 hours of deliveries. We are right around $75, waiting for a final pending tip to come through. I'm actually going to take a couple-hour break here at home, cool off, and work on some video stuff and some YouTube things that I want to get done for you. It is 5:30. We are back out for supper time. We picked up that La India order, and just as we were leaving, we also got hit with a True Food Kitchen order on DoorDash going the same way. This one was also about $10 for 4 miles. Dropped off both of them. The most exciting part for me is I got to drop off at one of my favorite houses in our entire town, and so it's a house that we've driven by before, and it was such a cool thing to actually get to drop off there. And we are back to La India. $9 for 5 miles. The exterior bag of the delivery bag started to rip, so I just threw it in an extra Publix bag that I had in my car. It's always beneficial to have extra supplies to help you out in a pinch. We did find out that our first La India order that went to my favorite house had a huge hidden tip on it. So that's one thing to kind of keep us going here. At this time, I'm gonna head over to Costco, see if we can grab any end of the day batches. On our way to Costco, we grabbed this Instacart order for Publix. And when we got to Publix, the internet was down. We had no signal in the store, so we had to cancel, but at least we got the batch pay for it. Eventually we made it to Costco, and while sitting there, we got this brick pizza, $9 for 5 miles. After dropping that pizza order off, we got another $9 order, this time from 7-Eleven. Everything was ready. It's just 3 drinks that were ready to go. This is day 3 of our $2,000 in 1 week challenge. We made it to the Costco drop today. One of the 2 places I recognize right away because I know what they order and where they order. And it's just lots and lots of multiples for a coffee shop that I'm going to be delivering to downtown. It also sets me up good if there's any food delivery orders, or I can just work my way back to Costco. I am trying to drop off this order, and I literally can't get in because they have the road blocked off for this giant crane. This thing is so tall and high up, and so I'm stuck here waiting. There's what that crane is carrying. Looks like a giant trash bag. We're riding back down the elevator. It's not going to be done in an hour and a half, but we should get this done in 2 hours at least. Everything dropped off from that Costco order. That order is a perfect example of why I like to follow the 1-2-15 principle. $1 an item, $2 a mile, $15 minimum per order for Instacart, because that order took way longer than I was expecting. I was not expecting there to be a crane blocking off the entrance road to where I was trying to go. And then in addition, I had to wait for the elevator and getting into that and an access code that I needed there. Because I left myself margin, it turned into still $22.50 an hour for those 2 hours, which is significantly better than if I had started with something that took longer in the first place. You want to leave yourself margin on these orders if you're trying to average a certain level. On the way out, I grabbed this $6 for 6 mile Turco Taco. Nothing great about it except the final positioning is just where I want to be. And then right as I arrived at the restaurant here now, they stacked me with a $9 for an additional 3 miles. So now we're looking at about $15 for about 9 miles. I don't usually take Instacart orders at lunchtime, but this one was too good to pass up because the drop-off was so close. Even though there were a few extra items in it, the tip was amazing. We dropped off that Fresh Market. Then we got a phone call from someone just checking in on us, and it's really, really good. Make sure you guys got a support system, especially if you're kind of like us and you're trying to build or rebuild your life from the bottom up. Get a network of awesome people around you. And so that's been one of the things that has carried us through tough times in life. And I definitely would just say, if you haven't done it, start building a good network of friends and people who care and love on you. Anyway, we just got back to Fresh Market and we got a quick little order, 3 items for $10 going 5 miles back to that same coffee shop that we had that big Costco order to earlier today. Dropping that off, we got a Sarku Japan, which is in our mall, and then it's stacked with a second Sarku Japan. Now the second one looks great, but when I looked at the offer, it's pretty small, which makes me wonder if this is an order that was picked up already. If it's too good to be true, it usually is. Both of those orders have been picked up, so not even the smaller one that looked decent. I knew the second one was probably not good, but both of them had been picked up. Neither of them had been delivered. I reached out to both customers, tried to get the restaurant to remake the order, but they wouldn't do it, and it wasn't worth it for me to pay to have them remake it. So we got $3 compensation for that waste of time. I generally don't like Wednesdays, but today has been so good this afternoon. We just previously had this order for 10 cases of water. I'm not a huge fan of water either from Costco, but we did it because it was the middle of the afternoon. It was like $22 and only went a few miles. Well, after we dropped it off, they asked if we bring it all the way in, and because I had my cart with me, I said, sure, I'll bring it all the way in, brought it to the back, and then as I'm leaving the parking lot, I noticed that they increased the tip by $10. So we got $32 for delivering 10 cases of water. That makes it pretty good. And as soon as we got back to the Costco parking lot, we grabbed this $24 order. It's only going to one customer, so I really like that. From Gordon Food Service, which is actually just right by Costco. After dropping off that order, we got this order and pay from Grubhub. It's our biggest Grubhub order that we have seen this challenge. It's $27 for 11 miles. The drop-off is near the main downtown area. I called ahead to make the order. They said it'd be ready in 10 minutes. I have about a 15-minute trip to get there. Somewhere throughout this evening, we also had deliveries from Sushi and Cheesecake Factory. We had 2 orders there. We had an Uncle Julio's on Uber Eats, and then we had a Chipotle on DoorDash. We had to wait for the Uncle Julio's and had to wait at the gate, dropping it off. Had to wait at the customer because they needed a PIN and they didn't come to the door right away. Anyway, we got it all done, then got the Chipotle dropped off. It took longer than I wanted, and she has to, when I arrived, she's like, did I tip you 4 or 6 on the app? I said, I don't know. You can watch with me. It'll show here in a second. And I clicked complete, and it was actually 5. And so she said, hold on, let me get you another one. And then she went in and got me 2 more. Appreciate my awesome customers. Love having the cash tips. They're always just kind of a fun little bonus. I might be getting some of these wrong, but then after that, I paired up an Uncle Julio's, again from Uber, and then a Panera on DoorDash. Got both of those delivered. And now I'm currently working on a sushi from DoorDash combined up with La Trattoria, which is an Italian place downtown, on Uber. And we're after 9 o'clock on a Wednesday. Usually I do not like delivering on Wednesdays, but today has been the exception. We are well over 200 for the day. Those 2 orders are all dropped off. We then got this huge order for Turco Taco that I'm pretty sure is gonna be a $3 reimbursement. They actually had the order. It's a $23 for 8-mile order. I was not expecting this. They are closed, but they had the order and I'm gonna take it. Just finishing up some old business. Both of our Uncle Julio's orders from Uber Eats earlier tonight had hidden tips on them. One was about 67 cents. The other was about $3 and change. So we got about $4 extra in hidden tips. This is a very strange Wednesday. It's a Wednesday that feels like a Friday. Just the good orders have not stopped coming in. Hey everybody, it is Thursday around 4:30 p.m. I did not deliver at all Thursday morning or afternoon. I was physically just exhausted from the last 3 days of delivering in hot weather in a car with no air conditioning. So I wanted to make sure I was ready to go for the weekend. And so I am out here for what will soon be, hopefully, a good supper time tonight. I just took this DoorDash. It is a shop and pay. It is not $15 like I prefer, but I'm trying to make DoorDash happy, and I'm really trying to crack the code here as to why maybe I'm not seeing catering orders, and I have a theory that I want to work towards in the future weeks ahead. We got this Chipotle order. Again, another $7 for a couple of miles, just keeping us right in the main zone that we want to be. After we dropped off that Chipotle order, we got this $17 for 10-mile order from Del Mar. This is a new restaurant for me, but part of our high-end restaurant zone. And when I went in, I asked them if they were relatively new to DoorDash, and they said yes. And so it's always good to be on the lookout for new restaurants and find out how long they've been on particular platforms, because it might be a new opportunity that's opening up. We got that Del Mar order dropped off, and because we were near restaurants for our drop-off point, we were able to get another order fairly quickly. This was from Sandwich Boss, which is actually a ghost kitchen inside of one of our pizza places that we have in town. We had to wait a minute or two, but then the order was ready, and dropped that off really quick because it was only a mile away. We got this order for Bice Ristorante. It's $12 for 9 miles. It is high enough on Uber that there is a chance that there could be a hidden tip on this, which is really nice. And we get to practice one of our principles from our video of turning enemies into friends. I just went to the valet because there was absolutely no parking spots, asked if there was a spot that I could stop at, and he said absolutely, right over there, in and out, no big deal. And so remember, be building those relationships with people, be courteous, be kind, be respectful, and you're gonna have lots of opportunities open up for you. We got this order, which I am fairly certain is a catering order, but there was no catering bag required. I'm gonna try to do some research. It also came with a stop for ice going to the same place. So this is super high mileage. This is not the type of order that I would normally get assigned. So I am fairly certain this is a catering order, but I am not getting the catering bag required label, which is the same thing I experienced this past weekend. I got their bag of ice on ice in my cooler. We dropped off our sushi order, and then we finished completing the pickup for that big Oak and Stone catering order that was not labeled as a catering order, and dropped that off. So we are all caught up waiting for our next order. We also found out that our previous order on Uber from Bice Ristorante did have a hidden tip on it, almost $5 more. So definitely be looking for hidden tips on Uber Eats. Anytime you start seeing orders $11, $12, that's kind of the range where hidden tips can start to kick in. We just got our first cash on delivery order. This is a special type of order available in DoorDash. I have never done one. In fact, I actually just opted into this program this week with the hopes that I would actually get one that I can display to you and share with you. It is from Papa John's. And there's a bunch of screenshots. I'm actually gonna do a full video on this, so I'm not gonna go too in-depth here, other than just explain basically the customer is going to pay me in cash. I might have to provide some change. Basically, then they will deduct that from my pay at the end of the week for the payout. Obviously, up front, it doesn't look like a great order, but from what I've learned, or at least from what I've heard, and from other people who have done this, is you do tend to get cash tips on a regular basis with cash only. So we're kind of going old school. Let me know down in the comments before if you've done them, if you're scared to do them, if you've done them and they weren't worth it, if you continually do them because they are worth it in your market. Love to hear. Everything worked out great for that. It was just a mom with a bunch of kids, and she ended up paying, suspense, $32. It's a little hard to show. 20, a 10, and 2 ones. So that means my tip was $4.16. I felt safe the entire time. Obviously, it's 100% up to you whether or not you want to do that. But if you're looking for ways to get extra orders and other opportunities, and you feel safe in your community in the areas that you deliver, you can decline these orders without them hurting your acceptance rate. So it's certainly an option you can turn on and just decide maybe it would be something you would only want to do during the daytime if you didn't feel comfortable at night, or if you just wanted to be super picky as to which neighborhoods you felt comfortable delivering in. Totally understandable, but as an option, it went off seamless, no issues. On our way to that pizza drop-off, we grabbed this Publix order. It's like over $15 for just a few miles. So we're gonna go shop this really quick, cool off for a few minutes in some air conditioning. Through 4 days, we are at roughly $815 on all platforms, including cash tips. Hit that subscribe button and be on the lookout for part 2.